Okay, now that we've done a little bit of sound and a little bit of animation, I think we can go ahead and bring in the characters and do a little bit of animation on that. So before I do anything, I think what I'd want to do is go ahead and select everything that I can and right click, object properties, make sure show frozen in gray is not on, and I'm just going to go ahead and freeze everything because that'll just make things easier. And the next thing that I would do is I would probably save this. So I'm going to go to File and Save As. It should take me directly to my student drive, but if not, you can navigate there. And I'm going to save it as, just like before, My Dancing. But instead of saving it as sound, I'm just going to put that as animation. Since this is more focused on animation, where the last one we did do some animation, but that was all about bringing in the sound. And I'm just going to go save. Alright, and so now I'm going to bring in some characters. There's a couple ways I could do this. I could go back to my student drive and bring in a Blocky character. A better way, I think, to do that would be like this. Go up to File, and then go into Import, and then go to Merge. And it should also take me back to my scenes folder in my student drive. And so I've got my Blocky right here, and you should have yours. And the nice thing about this is that we get to see what's in there, and I really prefer that. So yes, those are my Blockies, and I'm going to say Open. Then it's going to give me this dialog. Now there are certain ones that I want and certain ones I don't want. But I think what I'll do is I'll just select all and say OK, and then just delete the ones that I don't want. So there they all are. And let me see, how about if I go T for top, and I can see that I don't want this guy over here, so I can delete him. And I don't think I want this guy right here, so I can delete him. Or this guy here. And so that leaves me with Fred and the cat and that wolf. I'll grab Fred real quick and just bring him up. So I got all these guys in line. Okay, that's good. And next, let's see if we can't get these guys onto the stage. So I'm going to select all of these guys. And let's see, F for front here. That works. And I'll just put them right on the stage. That's pretty good. Next thing I'll do is I'll go ahead and bring in a class character. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, I've got some residual keyframes, probably mostly from that Fred walking, but I'm going to get rid of those. So while everything's selected, all those characters, every part of them, that way I make sure I get all those keys and get rid of them. Okay. That was good. Anyways, back to this and back to bringing in my class character. So you could merge a class character the same way, but I think for these it's easier since I've got the pictures right next to the characters to come in through here. You can see what you're going to get. And I think I'm just going to go ahead. I've been working with this princess, so I'm going to bring her in here. But you bring any character you want. Remember, this is all yours. I hope it doesn't look too much like mine. Alright, so there she is. Takes a little while for her to get there, but that's okay. I'm going to go back to front, and that way I can put her right up here. Sometimes using the place tool on these guys is kind of weird for some reason, so that's why I'm just moving her up manually. Okay, so that's all good. And then back to P for perspective to see how that's working out. Best thing is, I think, just to select the stage and shrink it down. Everything else will go with it. Not true? Let's see. Yeah, everything did because they're all in a line. Now, let's see. Looking at the relative size of these things, they're kind of cute, but relative to her, they're pretty small. I think I'm going to grow them a little bit. So here's Fred's pelvis. Will all the pieces grow? Yes, they do. Look at that. That's great. And here's the kitty's pelvis. Well, the kitty's probably fine. It's kind of a big cat. Just a cartoon after all. And how about the wolf? Let's find his pelvis here and grow him a little bit as well. Okay, old Fred was constructed a little bit better, and he stays on the floor, but old Wolfie here, he's got to come up. Oh, that'll be fine. Okay, and the next thing that I'm going to do is I'll just go ahead and isolate these guys. So draw a marquee around all of them and isolate. So let's see if everything's set up easy. So F for front, that looks good, and L for left. Let's find those guys. Okay, so that looks good as well. So back to F for front. Okay, so I'm going to click off to the side here just to deselect those guys. And I'm going to open up that graph editor. Yours might be open already, who knows. But that way I can see the line of the music because I want to make these guys dance, so I want them to go to the beat. So I'll go up here to the graph editors and open my dope sheet. And yours might already be attached to the top, mine's not. Yours might have a bunch of buttons. If so, get rid of those the way that I showed last time. And I'm going to dock this to the top. Now that this is docked to the top, I'm just going to go over here to sound. And there's my song right there. I'll open that up and I can see the waveform. Okay, so now here's just a quick reminder of how you can navigate around in here. So first off, if you hold down your wheel, just hold it down, not rolling it. I can get the hand sort of thing, so I can pan that to one side or another. Also, I can zoom in by just rolling my wheel. Now, you don't have to push in the wheel when you roll it. Just roll it. And, you know, whenever you don't have to push in and roll, that's probably good because it's a lot easier on the mouse. Okay, let's see one other thing. Check this out. So if I want to select on old Fred's leg, what happens is that it jumps to Fred's leg, and it thinks that it's helping you out, but it's kind of a pain because really all I want is that waveform. So what I'll do is this, is I'll go to show, right up here where it says show, and then it has track view auto scroll, and it's probably got selected. So I'm going to unselect that, and now go back up here, find my stuff again. So here's sound, open that up. Here's the waveform, so that's what I'm looking for here. And now when I click on any other thing, it doesn't just jump to that thing automatically. I get my little waveform here. Okay, and once again on here, if I want to move this, now this is important, so pay attention. I can just hold down my wheel and I can drag it. I can scroll it back and forth with my wheel, not even pushing down, and I can zoom in and out. The other thing that we're going to have to remember how to do is zoom in and out on the timeline here and move it around. So to do that, what you do is you have to use the Alt key and the Control key. So I've got my Alt key and my Control key pushed down. So then pushing down the wheel, I can just drag it around, just like the one up front, but I do have to have that Alt key and the Control key pushed down. Or if I want to zoom in, what I have to do is not with my wheel, but with my right click, I can then just expand it or contract it. And that's going to come in very handy here in just a little bit. Another thing that I can do if I want to see just certain parts of it is I could go here to my time configuration, click on that, and let's say I only wanted to see the first 200 frames. So I just type in 200. Okay, so there's 200 and start time at 0. Okay, and so then that's readjusted my time frame, and I can make that bigger or shorter as much as I want. I think I only need to see one of these guys, so I'm going to put this up a little bit. There, so I've got my one waveform, I can see my guys, I know how to manipulate my timeline down here. So a lot of the point to this tutorial is learning how to edit on the beat, or in other words, edit in conjunction with the sound that you've got going on. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and these guys, listen to the sound for a second. Okay, so that's just a real bouncy song. I'm going to make these guys just kind of do the monkey or something like that. So where does it start? It starts right about